So hello guys and welcome to another round in the TPMFA Cup. I'll be your host Reina. Today we have a very interesting match for today. It's going to be Noob Factory against Snazzy's. Both teams already have secured their progression. Snazzy sitting on second position in Group A, which has basically already ended since Kiak has folded and Galatasaray as well from their group. Noob Factory have also very safely secured their first place finish in the Group B as underdogs lost to Special Forces yesterday. So this is just a show match technically, two very strong teams contesting each other. We'll see some new signings today in action as Noob Factory signed a Nordic Crew attacker, a very promising player Camo. Definitely some contest for Levy, but probably Levy is still starting today. If we look at the lineups, definitely there are some interesting decisions. We see Murchink right now starting, but this could change because Ilval might be goalkeeping as well. Murchink also the new transfer for Snazzy's, as they wanted a second goalkeeper. Who knows, maybe Murchink should play today as Leamington folded as well, so Leamington players are all up for grabs for other clubs. For Noob Factory, they are still deciding on their starting lineup, but I guess we will see the usual Drozdov Kiro in defense. Most likely along the lines of Erwinson, who has returned to Noob Factory in midfield position, and Marcus Trindade, but this is still up for decisions. Talking about the history of two clubs, Noob Factory obviously the older club in this pair-up and also the oldest club in the whole competition. Drozdov, who has been leading them for basically 6 years now, has done a very good job with the team. They are stronger than ever and definitely one of the major title contestants this year. However, Snazzy, well, they have done some steps as well to secure their future as a club. We have seen Sayed and Hoffs reopen Young Lads, the Snazzy Academy or Satellite Club, if you want to call them that, and some of their players have been moved to Young Lads, and this team is definitely going to be a major force in the new league season. But for now, Snazzy is still focusing on the cup competition, of course, so we will see how they will end it, how is going to be their playoffs. It's still very open for them at this phase. Of course, the positive side for Noob Factory is that since they have secured the first position in their group, they get to have basically a week off from competitive games since they don't have to play in quarterfinals, but Snazzy does have to do that as they can only get the second place in their group. Rogue has a bye day today thanks to Galatasaray folding and Kiak as well. No surprises, of course. Rogue would have probably won those games. They have been the undefeated club this season. But we do see some changes to the lineup now. Kyrie Irving joining Noob Factory, also one of the newer transfers. Yurin starting as well, so we will see definitely some interesting improvements in their game. Maybe we see Kyrie Irving in attack today, but you know, in this late phase, it's kind of risky to change your usual lineups, as we saw what happened to underdogs, as just one player changed in their normal tactic, and that basically flipped their game over, and they had to concede 5 goals against Special Forces. But I think Noob Factory's defensive line is of course very mighty, with Drozdov leading it, and it's going to be tough for Snazzy's. If we compare the playing styles of those two teams, it's quite obvious that Noob Factory plays their usual long ball game, and Snazzy, while they play pretty passively, they usually are all open, and they try to wait for their opponent to make the first move. We've seen them play pretty passively. We saw them against Napoli in the first half. We saw that against Rogue, and Rogue, of course, managed to capitalize on that and pretty much dominated the game from start to finish. But Snazzy is definitely a very challenging challenging team to play through. They have very good placement and distribution along the pitch, and I think Noob Factory, even when they try the long balls, even when they try the maximize the heading and crossing, is still going to be tough against Snazzy, who are very tight in defense and managed to hold off Rogue for very long as well. We've seen some changes again in Noob Factory starting lineup. We see Levisan brought on, so again, most likely Levisan is going to start. He said that in the past interviews that he will focus on every game until the end of the group stage, and then they will turn their faces toward the playoff stage. But for now, it's all on the last games, and they just want to gather the confidence they need. Of course, Snazzy is in a weaker position here because they just had to take the slight defeat from Rogue Family, the 1-3 defeat. Overall, it was a very great game by Snazzy. They had some very good chances. Justin Bieber, who most likely isn't actually going to be in the starting lineup today, will most likely end up in the top scorers table, and he's still leading the top scorer table, but Levy is contesting him, so it's a very technical face-off here as well, you know, top scorers of both teams trying to prove themselves. So for now, the teams are almost ready to go. We've seen some changes in the lineups, but not very many. Ilval has replaced Murchink in the goal of Snazzy's, so Snazzy isn't going to risk by letting Murchink play right now. Of course, he did a very good job for Leamington. Has done some amazing saves throughout the group stage. However, it was just unlucky that Leamington had to take so many losses in the end. They started pretty strong for their lineup actually, but in the end they fell apart. And some of the players have already found new teams. We've seen Widowmaker and Yegorov joining Nordic Crew. So we see Murchink joining Snazzy's, and definitely Polter joining Nordic Crew as well. Nordic Crew preparing for the new league season, basically with all these transfers. But of course, Camo, one of the new top scorers of Nordic Crew, now joining Noob Factory, is going to be definitely a very interesting point in the playoffs as well, to see how Camo changes the way they play, if he gets playtime, of course, since today Kyrie Irving seems to be starting instead of him, or Marcus Trindade for that matter. Both teams have a pretty long bench, of course. Today we won't be seeing Matt play, I think, for Snazzy's, but we might be seeing Juidos. Snazzy has a very deep team. They have a lot of players to choose from. That's probably why they also reopened their academy, which was rather successful 2 years ago. But it's definitely interesting to see. Do they bring in new players? Would they rather focus on developing their own players? It's all up for the future for now. But the teams are still warming up. We might also go over the other games that has been played. You know, some games already have been cancelled, like I said. But yeah, yesterday the big game, which happened to be a very devastating for Underdogs United, as they can't finish on top of Group B any longer. They have to take the second place. But for now, they are on the third place of their group, as Special Forces passed them with 1 point. It's going to be definitely interesting to see how does the B group end on the second and third playoff spot. But for now, let's just focus on this game. about the starting lineups more, well, we've seen Hoffs playing striker recently in the past few fixtures. Maybe we'll see that here as well. It's hard to estimate who is going to be defender for Snazzy, because they tend to have a very well-rotating squad. Most of their players can play on-field, off-field, on goalkeeper positions. Ilval, for that matter, also can play on striker position, for example. So I'm expecting to see a very fluid game from Snazzy as usual, and they try to minimize the pressure of New Factory and grab their own game. We talk about more of the playoffs, then most likely Snazzy is going to meet the third place holder of. Oh, and the game has started now. So if we're gonna talk about the playoff pairings, then of course the winners of both groups get to the semi-final directly, but the second and third place teams will go up against each other in the format of Group A second and Group B third, and so on. So Snazzy will probably meet underdogs if they do finish third in their group, which is going to be another very interesting battle to see, does underdogs get their position back. Mukian now. And Snazzy has got a bit of positive play here going on. They get fouled repeatedly and get a very good position for a free kick. Tamai in goal for New Factory today and already pulls a very good save. Mukian now slides Irvin down. And we do see Kiro on bench today, Yirin and Rostov in defense for New Factory. So we do see some fresh legs basically today for New Factory. Yirin, Levy's son. Over the top, tries to find Kyrie Irving, but Rostov secures the ball back to Tamai. Irving's son. Irving with a long ball over the top. Alex gets it. Mukian. Chwidos. Rostov clears it. Alex. Pio. Pio to Mukian, escapes the defenders. Can he get something of it? He already is in a distance where the sliding is dangerous, but in the end loses the ball himself. Urin. Rostov. And we see some of the long balls, but we don't see such aggressive play from New Factory as we've seen against some other opponents. They do respect Snazzy's lineup, and they know how well Snazzy is prepared for this game and their counter-attacking strategies. Hoffs now on the wing. Levy clears it, and oh, it's a very unfortunate event there. Levy tried to clear it from reaching the wing, but in the end scores an own goal, and it's 1-0 to Snazzy. Tamai not in sight there either. Very interesting what happened there. No word can be said about that. It's a throw-in for New Factory now. So yeah, we've seen Levy, the top scorer of New Factory and one of the top scorers in the group stage as well, do a very interesting decision there by scoring the own goal. He could have cleared it some other ways, probably hitting it away directly, not on the goal. But accidents do happen, and we see how New Factory picks themselves up now. Pio tries to find Hoffs, does find Hoffs. So we do see Hoffs and Juidos playing on the wings, Mukian as a center striker this time. Snazzy always changing their lineup every game. It seems to be their strategy to haze the way they play. Hoffs this time playing on the wing, not as a direct striker. Juidos on the wing now, but Tamai gets the shot, it wasn't that strong. Levy's-son now against two there. Has to play it on the wing. Levy. Pfizer Irving-son. Ilval is coming out and pushes it away. Very good decision making by Ilval there on his box. Hofs races on the ball and gets past Drozdov, but Drozdov in the end heads it into a corner kick. Hofs with a very long corner. Mukian tries a bicycle shot there, but goes out of play and is a throw in for Noob Factory. And we've seen Snazzy grab the initiative now after the own goal. Noob Factory have gone a bit nervous there. Levy hasn't got very direct chances yet. Juidos on the wing now. And Tamai also very unsure, and here Juidos' cross hits the crossbar, and Tamai wasn't ready for that, definitely. Juidos now. Kyrie cuts the ball away, tries a long ball forward, but it isn't working right now. The long ball strategy of Noob Factory just isn't working, and Drozdov pushes it away. Tamai has to tackle it as well, and Hofs creating much pressure on the left wing side. Erwin. Levy heads it to Juidos. Juidos is very clear, tries a long shot, another crossbar from him. Mukian now opening up. Drozdov and Ervinson. Lack of communication there, but Snazzy gets the ball back, carrying. Ervin. Alex de Souza. Trying to find Hofs or Juidos, finds Juidos open on the right wing side again. Will he cross it high? No, he passes it back to Alex. Alex with a long ball forward. And we see long balls being much more effective for Snazzy as they are for Noob Factory right now. Juidos, Pio, Mukian. Tamai saves it very well. And yeah, partly it could be because Noob Factory is experimenting a rather new lineup. We haven't seen that lineup play competitively before, but what can be said, you have to take some risks. It's a very secure group win for them anyways, so why not give chance for other players. Drozdov now pushes Mukian away from the ball. Hofs tries a sneaky shot there, but Tamai was ready. And Tamai has been tested lots of times from Snazzy already, but in the end the only thing that has right now countered him was the header from Levi's-son. Mukian, Alex. And again, long balls from Snazzy. Juidos on the wing now. Looking for another deep cross in. He can't find the space for it yet, has to wait for Drozdov to clear up, but Tamai gathers across. Finds Kyrie Irving on the wing. Irvinson. And you see Snazzy immediately tightening up in defense when they see Noob Factory in attack. Either if it's a long ball or they just coming slowly up the field, immediately the pressure is there. Juidos. Alex de Souza. Tries to find Hofs. Hofs does get the ball before it goes out of play. It goes wing to wing now. Irvinson has to just clear it out of sight, and it's half time. Snazzy is leading this game 1-0, and it is kind of surprising because the only goal was scored by Levi's-son into his own goal. Mukian, Alex de Souza. Irvin heads it to Levy. Levy tries to find space, he's just panicking around the pitch. Drozdov. No space there to push up the field, and Drozdov eventually accidentally leaves it out of the play. Pio on the wing. Drozdov gets tackled there. Mukian, Alex de Souza. Snazzy. Snazzy has been very focused on the ball, very composed, not making much fouls. Hofs now, Mukian, but he's pushed away by Irvin. And I have to say, and Dilval is out of his goal, and this could have been a goal for Noob Factory. Cairo with a very long effort, but it didn't bother the goal. Mukian now tries to escape the two defenders there, and he does. He plays himself past Yurin. It's against Tamai now, 1-on-1. Can he do it? Yes, he does. Tamai completely misjudges it. Very good dribbling by Mukian, and it's 2-0. Very surprising there. It keeps getting worse for Noob Factory, and what can we say? Snazzy are playing very dominantly, and they have finally found themselves a very decent display by them. Kyrie now. Juidos has to make a foul there. Drozdov, will he try a long shot? But it goes off target. So yeah, Mukian definitely was... it's hard to predict such movements for a goalkeeper, Tamai did his best there, but Yurin in the end with the weird tackle, confused Tamai, and it was just another communication error from Noob Factory. Pio, Alex. Mukian now tries to pushes it inside the goal again, and Hoffs this time gets the goal. And this is really comedic right now, how Snazzy is keep getting the goals right now. Hoffs with a tackle goal again, and No Factory's defense is reminding me of Underdog's defense from last night. Just slowly crumbling away. Mukian with a long effort, but it hits the side netting, and Tamai is tired of it all as well, as it seems. His movement isn't as sharp as it was at the start of the game. Mukian now gathers the ball easily again. And it seems to be a huge gap between the defense and other players of New Factory. There is right now no connection between them. The passes can't be done right now. Irvin now finally opening up, but Alex de Souza tackles it to Ilval, who secures the ball. Chuidos. Mukian. Pio. Alex de Souza now. And now Tamai coming out of his goal and making his presence visible as well. And now Drozdov gets the ball to Levis, and he gets tackled, but in the end the ball evades him, and it's Snazzy's attack once again. Alex de Souza. Chuidos. Chuidos on the wing tries a short cross and a slow cross, but nobody was there in the end to receive it. Pio tries to find Mukian again. Urin already conceded one to Mukian there, but this time plays it safe and back to Tamai. Drozdov lobbing balls up front again. Irvinson. Hoffs mistimes that jump there, and Ilval with a very good save. Irvin hit the post. It could have bounced in, but Ilval managed to save it. Mukian with a long ball up front to Hoffs. Finds Hoffs and throws it over the line to Mukian again. Mukian against Tamai, and it hits the crossbar and goes over. Very unlucky for Snazzy now. Tamai really being out of his element today. He has been one of the most focused and very decent goalkeepers throughout the group stage. And Levison gets the consolation goal for New Factory, as Ilva made a mistake there, saved it right at Levison. So we have seen a very interesting game so far. New Factory finally got what they wanted, but it's too late for them really. '76th minute on the clock. Snazzy is leading 3-1. Alex de Souza. But it goes straight to Tamai. Tamai with a long ball finds Levison. Drozdov. Another long ball, but this time it's cleared. Urin. Levison. Levison with a long shot, but it goes past the far post. Ilval. Pio. And Levison now gets the ball, and that was very unlucky there. Pio with a very critical mistake, I have to say. Urin. Mukian tackles him, and that's a foul. Drozdov. The long ball up the field again. You see, New Factory basically employing the same tactic as they always do, but Snazzy came to win this game. They adjusted their tactic. They came with a different play plan completely as they played Rogue. This is completely new for them, but what a display it has been from Snazzy's. Hoffs. Pio. Ilval. Ilval now waiting on the ball a bit. A bit of a bad pass again from him. Goes directly at Irvinson. Urin gets tackled there by Hoffs. Mukian opens up. It's a race against Drozdov. He can win it. He can win it. He's fast, but Tamai pushes it away. Sujuidos against Tamai. Tries to lob him, but it goes over the goal. And it's a constant 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 situations under the New Factory goal. It's going to be really difficult for them. Drozdov now. And a very nervous game from New Factory for now. Urin. Pio. Chuidos. Chuidos now very well skips past the two defenders. Pio makes a tackle on Levison. Mukian has the ball now, tries to find a place to shoot. Back to Hoffs, now Juidos. And we see a very rogue-like game this time from Snazzy. You see how attacking they are, how they employ their presence in the box, and it's all over. Snazzy wins the game 3-1, and definitely Noob Factory is a bit shaken up from this game. If we have to say something about the game, well, Snazzy definitely surprised there with this game. I have to say that myself. Very surprising game from Snazzy. They really employed their best tactics. They did everything they could, and they did it very, very well. But in the end, I think Snazzy definitely grabbed a very deserved victory. They did a very great job, and generally props to them for being a very united team. Noob Factory definitely had to pick themselves up for this, but it wasn't a very sad victory for Noob Factory, a very sad loss for Noob Factory either, because they did all they could. They still played decently, but Snazzy just did all they could this game, and they got away with the win. So with me now I have Ilval, who defended the goal for Snazzy's. Welcome, Ilval.
Hello there. That was a great win. I was sleepy, but
Yeah, you
lucky.
you definitely played very well. The whole Snazzy team exceeded expectations with that performance. But you got a bit shaky in the end there. Can you explain what happened there against Levinson?
Which moment?
When Levy scored the first goal, you parried the ball.
It was a strange goal. I tried to save it, but
Yeah, you could say the Levy got lucky there, but well, one goal for Noob Factory, it was kind of deserved as well.
repeat the question, please.
Well, yeah, do you think the one goal was deserved for them as well?
Oh, they could score more. So one goal is
There was
nice for us.
we saw pre-game that Merchink was also in the squad. Do you expect to see Merchink playing in the future for Snazzy as main goalkeeper, as a second choice goalkeeper?
Yes, of course. I want to change my club after this cup, so
I see.
I think Michang have chance.
Do you have any teams in sight?
Yes, I have two teams which want me in the squad. Santa Claus and Young Lads.
It's very interesting to see. Both of these clubs will probably be a very fresh sight in the new league season. But if you want to finish the season with Snazzy's, do you think you have a very good chance of winning the cup?
Yes, we have a solid chance to win the cup. So I hope we can get to the finals.
Yeah.
And try to win this.
Is there anything you want to say to the viewers, Snazzy or Noob Factory fans after this game?
Not much. Just good game, well played.
Yeah, this means you have very safely proceeded on to the playoff stage. You will be playing in the quarterfinals either underdogs or special forces, who do you think is going to be an easier opponent?
Special forces, underdogs are good teams, so it won't be an easy game.
Yeah. Well, we'll be ready for playoffs, and thank you for joining us, Ilval.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
So that will be enough from us. Stay tuned for another game week on round 10. But so far, goodbye. Have a good evening.